It is the dream of every NBA player to represent his country, to wear the uniform of the United States of America, and to have an Olympic gold medal draped around his neck. The journey for the latest edition of the Dream Team began here in San Juan, as an all-star lineup needed only to reach the final game to assure a spot in next summer's Olympics in Sydney. With that goal realized, tonight the U.S. men's senior national team plays for pride, for the love of the game, and for the title of champion of the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas. The beauty of San Juan on this Sunday night. Another sun-splashed day leading to our championship game tonight. We are inside the Roberto Clemente Coliseum, the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas. Final game tonight as the United States will play the Canadian national team. And a pleasant good evening, everyone, wherever you may be, and welcome to our final telecast on Turner Sports of this great tournament here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And both the U.S. and Canada are going to the Olympics in the year 2000 by virtue of their being in this final game tonight. And what a great story for the Canadian national team, because they haven't been to the Olympics as a team since 1988. And as always, I'm joined by Hubie Brown. And Hubie, for the U.S., pretty much business as usual, 9-0 coming into tonight.
Now, you have to give a lot of credit to Larry Brown and his staff, Gene Cady from Purdue, Tubby Smith from Kentucky. They have taken all of this talent, molded it into a very solid defensive team. They are a highlight film in transition, and then they make the extra pass. Now, these are some staggering numbers. They're winning by 32 points a game. The differential on the rebounds are 14. You can see the shooting percentage at 59. They're out in the open floor because of steals and shot blocking. Then they cap it all off, Kevin, with 5 players averaging double figures. Very nice.
Well, for Canada, it is a surprise that they have made it to the finals. As I told you before, it's more than a decade since they've been to the Olympics. What did they have to do tonight to beat the U.S.?
Well, this is a team dominated by their perimeter players. 3 guys are averaging double figures, and in yesterday's key win over Puerto Rico, Steve Nash out of Santa Clara came in with 26 points, 8 rebounds, and you see where his shooting was outstanding. The key man down the stretch, Sherman Hamilton, who played at Virginia Commonwealth University, 19 points, and he made 9 out of 10 foul shots in the last 3 minutes. Rowan Barrett out of St. John's, very consistent throughout this tournament, 18 on the perimeter, a real threat with the three-point shot. Now, in game 1, the United States defeated Canada by 34 points. They dominated inside with Duncan, Garnett, and Baker. They outscored their 3 opponents by 25 points and 17 rebounds. So if Canada's going to get anything done here tonight, we know that the 3 perimeter kids will probably get some points, but they must establish an inside game.
It'll be a fun championship game here in San Juan as the U.S. strives for perfection. It's the U.S. against Canada next on TNT.
Americas on TNT, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Frost Brewed to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. By Travelers Insurance, a member of Citigroup. By Degree, the body heat activated antiperspirant and deodorant. Your body heat turns it on. And by the United States Army, be all you can be.
Welcome back to San Juan, Puerto Rico, the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas. The championship game tonight featuring the Canadian national team against the U.S. And the U.S. with the familiar group of Houston Garnett, Tim Duncan, Jason Kidd, and Gary Payton. Garashi, Barrett, Meeks, Hamilton, and Steve Nash. Yes, Steve Nash of the Dallas Mavericks starting for Canada. And the third member of our crew tonight is Craig Sager. Craig, good evening.
Well, Steve Nash, you're going to Sydney. Congratulations on the victory yesterday. Talk about the expectations coming in.
Well, we had high expectations, but, obviously it's tough. Everyone's playing for that one spot, other than the dream team. So it was difficult, but we just stayed positive and focused, and we got it done.
In that game, you came out aggressive, looking to score, taking pressure off your teammates. What do you do tonight against the U.S.?
Hopefully not lay down and die. hopefully we just come out and have some fun and, play hard, just compete. We know that they're superior to us, but we want to go out and just compete as equals and see what we can do.
Well, we don't want to start the game without you. Thanks for being with us. Let's go now back to Kevin and Yubi.
All right, now that kid had a bad back most of this tournament.
Oh, yes. Well, during the course of the season with the Dallas Mavericks, he really struggled with his shot, probably for the first time in his career, because he had a stress fracture in the lower back. It's nice to see him. In the first 3 games down here, Kevin, he only averaged 8 points. It was shooting 36% in threes, but in the last key 4 games, 15 points a game, but he shot 53% in threes, and he's the man that makes them go.
Terrific. And he, of course, with the Dallas Mavericks, as you take a look at Tim Duncan. And Tim has had a very consistent tournament so far, as has Jason Kidd.
Yeah, well, you like what Duncan has done because he's done it quietly. He's only taken 8 shots a game. He's averaging 13 points, leading the tournament in rebounding. And he's just there. He's not the game that he wanted to show a presence was against Puerto Rico, and he came out and just dominated Ortiz at that center spot, allowing the United States to run away and blow him out.
So here comes Canada with the player on the roster not older than 27 years of age, and 8 of their 12 have played in U.S. colleges, so a nice American influence here.
They're going to try to reduce the game, slow it down, be deliberate, run your half-court sets, and then their 3 perimeter guys are excellent 3-point shooters.
Barrett, Hamilton, and Nash, you talked about in the open. And here's Anderson, Meeks, and back to Sherman Hamilton. Shot clock at 4. Going past Garnett into Garashi. Rebound by Kidd. Here comes the U.S. Their first possession. Houston slithering inside for 2.
Now, if this is your first time that you've watched the USA team play in this tournament, that's their game. Off the miss, they're in the open floor. Shot blocking and steals. They will eventually, because of their quickness, get the 3-on-1, 4-on-2 situation.
Here's Nash. Off to Hamilton. Working on Payton. Rebound by Garnett. Quick outlet again. Kidd will lead it. Working on Nash, his former teammate. And out of bounds it goes off the U.S.
Well, from top of the circle to top of the circle, Jason Kidd has just been absolutely sensational. He's leading the tournament in assists, and then he has done a terrific job in defending the point guards from the opposition.
Hamilton working on Payton. Screen set up for Garashi. He'll take it down the lane. Rejected by Garnett. Garashi gets it back. Rejected again. Garnett's playing tennis. 3-on-2. Houston to the rack.
Kevin Garnett has been a highlight film every game. The fans love him here for the shot blocking, the way he runs and is the trailer on the fast break. The whirlwind dunks. It's just been, and plus he's having a wonderful time himself.
He's loving it. Duncan knocked that away. Working inside was Hamilton, fouled by the U.S. Watch Garnett again. A gauntlet inside the lane.
Well, he's averaging 2 shot blocks a game, and you can see right there, he has the size advantage and also with the long arms. Now, Garashi is a proven pro. He plays in the Division I Italian League for the past 3 years, and so he has played against quality big men, but he's given away too much size to Garnett.
As we have seen throughout this tournament, Hamilton at the line, and you see the trapezoidal shaped lane, one of many differences between the NBA and FIBA.
Well, the length of the game, 20-minute halves, timeouts, 2 in the first half, 3 in the second, no 20s. The width of the lane, yes, it's 19 at the base. The 3-point difference is 3 feet 3 inches. That's 1 step. And then naturally we have the 30-second clock.
And just 2 referees as opposed to 3.
Now that's big, because 2 referees in today's basketball, it's very difficult because you lose almost a third of the floor opposite of where the basketball is.
Barrett from outside. Missing. Duncan reels it in. Garnett on the break. 3-on-2. No look to Kidd. Inside. Oh, what a pass by Kevin Garnett.
Well, the United States, because of the athleticism, they just take it to the FIBA teams. And as long as you keep your dribble and attack the basket, they will eventually allow you to go, because defense in FIBA basically is soft.
Barrett on top. Here's Nash. And off to Meeks. Over Duncan. Nice shot.
Well, Meeks played at Canisius up in Buffalo, New York, was an excellent player, has played in 4 different countries over the past 4 seasons in Division I professional basketball.
Duncan to Payton to Houston. Garnett against Garashi. Firing a pass to Duncan off the cut, and a whistle and a foul blown on the Canadian national team inside, and Garnett leading the break here.
Well, you just love it because they have been unselfish. It's a no-look pass, and then Jason Kidd finishing it off. Usually Jason would make the extra pass. Now, Garnett just posted up with his back to the basket, was double teamed. He found Duncan in a heartbeat. And you just love the way this team has played. And that's why we tried to bring it out about the coaching staff. Larry Brown, Tubby Smith, Gene Cady, they've been all over these guys. Make the extra pass. We're going to win the games, so let's have a lot of fun doing it and showing the people how the game should be played.
And some full court defensive pressure, which you've talked about, is something that's been the trademark of the U.S. Hamilton working on Payton. Kidd almost swiped it away and picks up the foul.
Well, Jason Kidd and Gary Payton have been averaging close to 3 steals a game. They are the 2 that ignite it. And what they try to do, they call this Carolina run and jump. What they'll do is they'll try to get that ball handler to turn his back. And once you turn your back, a player will come from a blind side, and then they'll rotate up to the player that was just left by himself.
Spin move on the baseline by Rowan Barrett. A guy who had a short stint in the Toronto Raptor camp. Cross court to Kidd, touch pass to Duncan, just like that for 2.
Jason Kidd's vision is just beautiful to watch, and we've had a steady diet of it because tonight is the United States' 10th game in 11 days.
That is not easy regardless of what level you're playing at, but these are young kids who have had some time off and now thrust into all these games in a short window.
Now, right now we have Rowan Barrett posting up right now. He's taking it strong. Now, he has averaged 20 points a game over the last 2 seasons. In '99, he played in Brazil. In '98, he played in Spain, out of St. John's University in New York.
Here he is. The aforementioned Barrett. Leaping rebound by Kevin Garnett. U.S. wants to run. We've seen this the entire turning. Payton works on Hamilton, spins and tries. Oh, what a play by Payton.
Well, you talk about consistency. Gary Payton has only taken 9 shots a game, and he's averaging 16 points. He has just been terrific in the open floor, and you can see the key to the pressing and trapping also is Garnett. At 7 foot, his ability to play the man out of bounds after the U.S. scores and put the pressure on the traps, interesting.
One of the great things about this is we get great access in these huddles.
Well, you can see Larry Brown. He's been with a number of NBA teams, but he's led 6 of them to the NBA playoffs. Gene Cady, 21 seasons. How about 5 times National Coach of the Year? And then Tubby Smith, naturally in his time at Tulsa and then at Georgia and now at Kentucky with the national champions in '98. This is a great, outstanding teaching staff. Every player here is benefiting by these 3 men.
And every player has mentioned the teaching they've gotten here the last couple weeks.
Well, that, you know, when you get on all-star teams, you know, it's just not about running up and down. These guys got an extra bonus here because this staff is going to help their overall game.
Knocked away by Garnett, slaps it away. Payton now down the middle and locates Kidd, who gets the Garnett screen, who finds Duncan on a great play by the U.S.
The United States has so many excellent passers who can get you the ball in traffic, Kevin, and that's the perfect example. Not only Jason Kidd, but Payton, Steve Smith, Garnett. These guys can deliver you a great pass while they're double or triple teamed.
A perfect start so far for the U.S. Here's Payton working on Sherman Hamilton. And Gary hits a nice fadeaway as he worked his way down low.
Well, that's Gary at his best. He loves to post up. People think that he's 6'2" or 6'3". He's a legitimate 6'4", 6'4 and a half with the long arms, and he loves that side of the floor.
And strong. Outside, it goes to Barrett, who wiggles for room, lost it inside. Garnett plucks it. Here's a 4-on-2. And broken up nicely by Sherman Hamilton, who kind of got right in the traffic.
Well, I feel badly for Barrett because he was definitely hacked at the other end, not by one guy, but by two. But if the referees are just going to think that they're going to mail it in here tonight, that will be a tremendous disservice to the Canadian team.
Here's Payton shuffling again as he did the time before, using a left hand with the miss. Rebound by Garashi. Here comes Nash for three.
That's what they need. They need Nash to step up. We told you early, in his first 3 games, he was just being passive. He was running the ball club, but not looking for his points. But in the last 2 games especially, he's been primetime Steve Nash that we remember in his days in Santa Clara.
Yes, kid with a nice crossover there and a good fake. A turnover with Payton getting it. Off to Houston for 3. Come on!
Allen Houston has been the quiet man. He's done a terrific job defensively on all the small forwards in this tournament and just stays within whatever they're running. If he gets a shot, he's only taking 7 shots a game.
Payton outside to Hamilton for 3. Clutched on 2 by Duncan. Flips it out to Payton. Nice pass. Houston firing and back on top it goes. Duncan with the fake. A hesitation. Garnett back into Kidd. Payton, look at the passing.
Thank you.
What are you singing? But it was up until that time.
We'll just say that was too hot to handle. Okay? That's all.
New player in Todd McCullough from the University of Washington.
Drafted on a 2nd round by the Philadelphia 76ers. Did not get much action yesterday in the big win over Puerto Rico, but he's been solid for them.
Barrett missing from outside. Another rebound clutched on 2. The 4th by Kevin Garnett. Here comes Kidd the other way, facing Nash. Into Duncan. Draws a crowd. Nash again the other way with the U.S. on top, 21-9. Mavis with his first shot. Andrew Mavis. Here comes Payton. No look to Houston. Back to Gary for 3, and he has lived on the 3 in this tournament. Rebounded by Nash. He'll put it up on the fly and knock in a triple.
See, it's nice to see him back where when he first came into this league with Phoenix as the 3rd guard, he was outstanding because he could come up just like that, shoot it in your face. But that injury that he had this year with the lower back really took away his creativity and his range.
Garnett knew it was short, volleyballs it. McCullough comes up with it for the Canadian national team.
Now, this team can rebound. That's why they got to the qualify for the Olympics, because of McCullough and Garashi. These guys and Newton, they can board.
Here's the aforementioned Greg Newton out of Duke. Rebounded by Garnett again. He's got 5, and Kidd the other way. Tom Gugliotta sets the check in. Houston had it knocked out of his grasp and out of bounds. And a timeout taken. This is the gold medal game, the championship game of the qualifying Tournament of the Americas.
While we could give you a lot of reasons to buy performance friction carbon metallic disc brake pads from AutoZone, perhaps the most compelling is this. They simply stop shorter than any brand we've ever tested. Performance friction carbon metallic. Ask for them at AutoZone.
What we're attempting has never been done.
She's sleeping like a baby.
You've seen Sharks before.
Cano is the coach of the Canadian team. This is his first shot as the head coach of the national squad. To qualify them for the Olympics, it's just an outstanding accomplishment for him. You can see he's a 3-time Olympian as a player. He played for the Canadian team for 11 years. He was the team captain. He's the radio man for the Vancouver Grizzlies. Jack Donahue was here earlier in the week. Coach Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at Powell Memorial, and then Coach Holy Cross, and then was the Canadian national coach. And he said, he said Jay was just a walkout. He didn't think he'd make the ball club the first time that he did, and then A couple guys got hurt. Next thing you know, he's in the starting lineup. We never got him out for 11 years. He was the captain of the team, and he is one of Jack Donahue's favorite all-time players. It's nice to see the sign of success.
Terrific story. McCullough hits right there. And the fact that now he has taken this team to the Olympics next year is a tremendous accomplishment. Duncan, who hit the last shot for the U.S., working on McCullough with a little spin and an easy glance off the glass.
Now, McCullough is 7 foot 275. Now, he is a horse. Once he gets down inside, you know, if he's up to it, he can board real well. And see, now, no hop. He doesn't have the hop, but he takes up a lot of space.
Out of bounds off the Canadian National Center. McCullough.
When you're looking for backup centers in the NBA, you always got to think that. You don't say, hey, well, he's not as good as Duncan. Well, of course he's not as good as Duncan. He's a second-round pick. What they're looking for in Philadelphia is a guy to take up space, just board, play defense, and take care of the middle of the lane. You got plenty of fouls to give. Now, in this tournament, he's done a nice job.
Great pass to Gugliotta. He takes it in with that broken nose and that protective mask. Persevering is Tom Gugliotta.
Well, it's nice to see Googs rebound back after this broken nose. He has played the least of the 9 NBA players. Only 12 minutes a game because of the broken nose and then the 6 stitches across the top.
Here's Newton. Rebound McCullough. Goaltend on Steve Smith, who's in for the first time, but that's what McCullough will do. He'll give you some good minutes backing up like you mentioned before.
Yeah, I just like what he's done with this club because they could not have achieved getting into that big game yesterday without his contributions. He's been a very solid player for them.
Payton wheels inside, flips it to Smith, back to Payton for the 3. Right between the eyes for Gary Payton.
Gary Payton in threes, 10 for 20. Not bad, 50%. Not bad.
And his love taken. McCullough over Duncan, rebounded by Gugliotta. Lead pass to Smith. Looking for Duncan on the trail.
A little bit too much English on that cue stick there with that ball, that's all. The idea was great. Gugliotta has done a terrific job when he has gotten the minutes. His rebounding, very consistent, and, you know, he feels so badly, but the swelling is down and underneath both eyes, so at least he can see, but he's hampered a little bit by that mask.
Keith Vassell the miss. Here comes Payton. Right by Jordy McTavish for 2. And McTavish the other way. First year with the national team. Clocks a 3. Rebounded inside by Mavis. And outside to Vassell. And McCullough is there to clean it up and put it in.
Oh, he's a horse.
Yeah.
He's a big body. Now, if you're looking at all of these threes and saying, is this how Canada plays? The last time they played the United States, they attempted 31 threes.
Timmy Hardaway is in. Out there with Smith, Payton, Duncan, and Gugliotta. McCullough outside to Vassell. Guarded by Payton on top. It goes to Mavis. Rebounded by Gugliotta, who wanted, I know, to come out and finish well tonight. Tim Hardaway, he has been absolutely terrific the last 2 games.
Well, the last 2 games, he's averaging 17. Not only is the three-point shot there, but his total game in the open floor, setting up the rest of the players.
Duncan to Smith. What a drop-in. Beautiful
The old
pass.
give and go.
Yep.
I think it came in when they put up that first beach basket. Pass and cut to the basket. It's amazing. You know, the game is simple if you know how to play, but you have to play with unselfish guys who will get it to you.
In Canada, that's where it first began. Duncan, the knockaway. Hardaway has it. Tried to feed Payton. Smith comes up with it off the Gugliotta. More great United States basket.
Well, when you watch Steve Smith play a lot about basketball, the one thing he do, he can make the great pass when he's pressured.
McCullough and a 15-footer knocked down. You're right.
No,
you're right.
No, you know what it is? See, Duncan is laying off him. Probably because in the last game that they played, they dominated the big guys so much. That's Gugliotta's at least his 5th rebound in this game. He's doing a very nice job. He's extremely active, and he's not worrying about getting a blow to the mask. Now, this is just a pretty give and go. A nice pass by Duncan. You love to play with guys who will get it to you when you go back door.
idea. Make our girls...
To bring out the point that the United States has qualified for their 15th straight Olympics, 15 in 15 years. Canada has qualified for their 9th. Now, they have a history. They were second in 1936. They were fourth on 2 occasions, in 84 and 76. They were sixth in 88. They were 9th 3 times in 48, 52, and 56. So this isn't like, you know, they were starving to get in here. They've been in the Olympics. This will be their 9th time.
But it's good to see him back in. Swords is in. Mavis is in. Next year will be their first appearance in 12 years. Here's McTavish. McCullough, who has scored well. 8 points and 5 rebounds in his 5 minutes. Here comes Timmy Hardaway to the trailing Guglielmo. Wonderful drop pass.
You see, in FIBA basketball, you have very few shot blockers. So the United States team knows that once they break the foul line, they take it strong to the basket, and invariably they're going to get the layup because these people do not foul you like in an NBA game and put you on the floor.
Richard Anderson, formerly of an NAIA program back in the States, first year at the national team, puts it up and in. 38-22 the U.S. Kidd over 2. Oh, what great arc on the shot by Jason Kidd.
You know, that ball almost hit the 30-second clock, which is about 3 feet above the top of the board.
McCullough. He had to get it high. He did, and down it went. Shorty McTavish, who played at the University of Utah in the Elite 8. When he was at that program, Rick Majerus driving inside on Hardaway. McCullough again working on Vin Baker.
McCullough's working to impress Larry Brown so that when he goes to camp that Brown will know his name.
Yes, okay. I think he knows. McTavish off to Mavis and feeds to Swords. Smith with a tremendous size advantage on McTavish. Richard Anderson. Outside the Swords. Sean Swords.
Well, Swords, you know, big scorer. He played in Switzerland last year, and the year before that he played in England. He was an all-star player in the Switzerland Professional League last year. He'll take the shot.
Guglielmo through traffic, bulldozing his way inside and fouled. Tom broke the nose and then had surgery to fix the broken bones in his nose on the last day of practice before their first game against Uruguay. Wore that mask, threw it off. He was so uncomfortable with it, they said he couldn't play unless he wore it. So he has spent the majority of the time here getting used to something he has never worn before.
Well, you know, he had the raccoon eyes for a number of days. And the swelling was really affecting the point that he was having difficulty dribbling the basketball. So for a couple of ball games, he would just catch and pass and just move, try to keep himself in shape. But it's nice to see him back now where he's almost whole.
Coming up on the AT&T Halftime Report with Craig Sager, highlights of Canada and Puerto Rico. And Craig Sager live with former Timberwolves and Cuban national player Andres Guibert. All coming up next on the AT&T Halftime Report with Craig. It's McTavish against Hardaway. A little trapping by Guglielmo with a great steal, and he may have stepped out of bounds. He did.
That has been the trademark throughout the tournament. Now, I realize tonight that they're not doing it every single possession, which they were doing earlier, and when they had to beat Puerto Rico in Game 8, and then also yesterday versus Argentina. The trap was on for most of the ball game. Right now, they're just playing normal defense.
Mismatch, McTavish against Guglielmo. Will he try to exploit it? He will with a 3. Rebounded off the fingers of McCullough, picked up by Mavis. A fresh 30-second shot clock. That's off the U.S. Down to 27 with 4:14 to play in the first half.
Well, the United States scrimmaged Canada before they came down here. They scrimmaged them in Orlando. They defeated them 97-69 by 28. Then they ran into them early in the first round, defeated them 94-60. So they do know one another well.
McCullough, Baker is there with little resistance. The rebound by Kidd, out of the fray and off to the races. And kicks it outside. Hardaway for 3. Rebounded by Mavis.
Now, Timmy's been averaging close to 6 3-point attempts a game and shooting a very, very high average.
Mavis with 3. Tip in, try, won't go. Mavis gets it back. And a fresh 30 outside for Swords. He'll launch the triple. Tapped by Kidd. Picked up Hardaway. 3-on-2. Timmy orchestrating. Pulls up and buries it.
When you attempt as many threes as Canada, the ball is rebounding long, and anytime that happens, they're in trouble. 3-on-1, 4-on-2.
Anderson. Hardaway volleyballs it to Kidd. Back to Timmy. 3-on-3. Hardaway. Pretty play.
That was very pretty.
It's great to see the spring back in his step again.
Well, you know, he has been struggling. He was laboring with that knee that he had operated on once the playoffs ended for Miami. But now in the last 3 games, he does have a compact body and he's exploding.
The story here, not the U.S., but McCullough.
McCullough.
He is a chainsaw inside. 46-29, the U.S. on top of Canada. San Juan on the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas final night. A couple weeks have gone by, and our crew has loved every second of being in this great city in Puerto Rico. With Hubie Brown and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan, the U.S. on top, 46-29. They've shot 71%. The U.S. team has, and fast break points have been key.
Well, every game, the United States will usually hit over 30 points on the break, and it's all because of the blocks and steals. Now, right now, they're on a 17-0 run, and the United States has 12 layups out of their 20 field goal baskets.
Here's Smith off to Houston inside Vin Baker. Out there with Elton Brand and Tim Hardaway, and a traveling violation called inside. Elton Brand is the first rookie or college player to come in tonight.
Elton Brand and Wally Serbiak are both averaging 7 minutes a game. Very difficult to handle when you are accustomed to be the main man at Duke, the main man at Miami of Ohio, where everything goes through you.
McCullough out to Nash, who's back in. Feeding to Mavis. The drive into Baker, counted for 2, and the foul on Vin Baker of the U.S.
Well, you know, Coach Triano is staying with his second unit. Now, I know he brought Nash back in here, but this group is doing an excellent job versus the USA's second unit. They're taking their time. They're putting some points up on the board. Now you say, well, the game here, come on, it's still, 15. It's 14 right now. But the main thing is that they're getting some points on the board.
Hardaway and Nash. Smith. Brand inside. Fires it out to Hardaway. Back to Brand. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Finding Smith open over the 7-foot McCullough. A whistle. And a foul inside on Canada. They're calling it Richard Anderson.
Well, Richard Anderson still has a senior year at Simon Fraser University, so he'll be playing at the college level again next year. This is his first trip on the national team. There's a little horse shot, no doubt about that one. That one didn't have a prayer.
Nash outside the Swords, who uses the baseline and floats inside but can't get it to go. Off the U.S., Canada will inbound.
Well, this unit that's out on the floor right now for the United States, playing basically very soft defense. They're allowing the Canadian team to move the ball and especially take the ball to the basket off the dribble.
Davis for 3. Rebounded by Allen Houston of the New York Knicks. Houston played for his dad, Wade, at the University of Tennessee. Baker the miss inside. Here comes Nash. Stampeding the other way by Hardaway to the hole. Pretty play by the penetrating Nash.
Now this ball club for Canada will go right from here to Winnipeg for the Pan Am games. They'll be playing there from July 31st to August 8th. But Steve Nash and Guriasi will not travel with the team. So that's your point guard and center.
Elton Brand won't watch it go in. Nash again from one side to the other.
Well, this is Nash at his best. He's very clever with the basketball, plus he can explode. See, off that hesitation move, then he finishes. He's very good in the lane with either hand, and then he's a three-point threat. So when he levels you off in the open floor, you have to come up and honor the three-point shot. And then the quickness, he shifts gears and he'll take you to the rim.
Take a look at Nash with Brand at the line, the first Duke player ever to leave early under Mike Krzyzewski.
I think the amazing thing, not that he was player of the year, and not that he was player of the year in the ACC. The thing about his career over 2 seasons, he shot 61% from the floor. Now, that's hard to do when you think of the competition that Duke faces, plus he was getting double and triple teamed down inside in the post area.
Vassell to Nash. Good move by Brand. Foul called on Elton, trying to grab on.
Now that was a design play where they back screen Nash's man at the top of the circle. He passed the ball to the left side of the floor. They ran a blind screen and sent him diagonal away. That is a play that Miami runs for Timmy Hardaway all the time. And he put it right on the money. Now you see how difficult he was to guard because he could take you off the dribble.
McCullough over Brand. Canada on a 9-0 run.
The big fella is going for 20. He said, enough of this. I'm not going for 10. I'm going for 20.
Shot clock is off. 13 seconds to play here in the first half of this championship game, this gold medal game in the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas. Hardaway over Nash, right down the middle. That ends the half. Hardaway's been so fun to watch the last 2 games.
I don't think that the coaching staff will be very happy. They're going in right now. They're only up 12. They have to be a little annoyed with their second unit. They lost the edge that the first unit gave to them. They were hoping for them to increase the lead.
Good point. Craig Sager's next with the AT&T halftime from San Juan.
It's halftime at Roberto Clemente Coliseum in San Juan. The U.S. is leading Canada in the gold medal game 48-36. Welcome to the AT&T halftime report. Hello again. I'm Craig Sager. Well, for Canada, no matter what happens today, it will not detract from their accomplishment here at the Tournament of the Americas. With the United States virtually assured of one of the 2 qualifying spots for the Olympics, Canada was competing against Central American champion Cuba, South American champion Brazil, and Puerto Rico on its home court for a spot. But yesterday, Steve Nash was sensational. 26 points. The Dallas Maverick point guard also had 8 rebounds, 4 assists. He received help from Sherman Hamilton, who had 19 points, and Rowan Barrett, who played at St. John's, added 18. Those 3 combined for 63 of the 83 points. Canada celebrates its 83-71 win. The Canadian basketball team going to the Olympics for the first time since 1988. 2 more teams added to the Olympics now, the United States and Canada. They join the host country, Australia, Yugoslavia, the 1988 world champion, and from Europe, France, Italy, Lithuania, Russia, and Spain. 1 team each from Africa, Asia, and Oceania yet to qualify. And we'll be back with one of the big stories here at the Tournament of Americas. 4 Cuban players and a trainer defecting to the United States. The United States and Canada are using this tournament as a stepping stone to the Olympics. 4 players from Cuba and a trainer, including the country's best player, Lázaro Borrell, use it as a walkway to liberty and freedom. Borrell joins me now along with Andrés Guibert, a former Cuban national player who defected while in Puerto Rico in a tournament in 1993. And Andrés, is there any way to describe the feeling of walking away from your team, your country, your family into a world unknown?
Yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough decision. I just congratulate all the fellas who left because they left family, friends, and everything because they tried to find their freedom. That is the more important thing anyone in this world could have.
You were able to play 2 seasons in the NBA with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Are any of these players, in particular, Lázaro Borrell, capable of playing in the NBA, and how difficult is the transition?
Yeah, I think he can do it. He got the talent, and he always been a very talented player and plays strong every night. I think he can do it. If somebody give him a tryout or something, if he has the opportunity, he will do. I'm sure about that.
Have teams contacted you? Are you aware of any scouts coming here?
No, nobody has contacted me, but I hope something come out now very soon. We just waiting for his status, because we just apply for the political asylum, so we need some time to receive the news about this.
Lazaro, you walked away from the hotel with no money and only the clothes you're wearing. How are you surviving financially, and what are you doing now?
Dice que tú caminaste fuera del hotel sin dinero, sin nada, sin ropa, y cómo estás sobreviviendo ahora.
Bueno, estoy sobreviviendo gracias a que la fundación que nos ayudó nos respaldó desde un principio, y muy especial a la ayuda de nuestro compañero y amigo Andrés Iber, que nos ha ayudado en todo momento.
Yeah, he said he survived thanks to the Cuban American Foundation and my corporation, that I support them, all the guys, and everything they need, anything they need. I'm there, and I'm going to be there forever.
What were the details? How were they able to escape from the team and to control the security?
Well, I can't talk about that. It's nothing they can do about it, you know. It's just walk away from the hotel and just contact somebody, tell somebody you want to go, tell a police office, and just go.
Did they go as a team, or did each one make an individual decision? How long were they planning this?
Si te fuiste individualmente o te fuiste con el grupo, lo estaban decidiendo con el grupo de muchachos.
No, aunque fueron decisiones individuales, nos pusimos de acuerdo y salimos los cuatro juntos a la misma vez.
He said that each one of them make their own decision, but at the end they look to the eyes and they say, hey, we think it the same way, let's go. And they left.
You said it was worth it, you never had second thoughts, but is there any fear of persecution to the family members that have been left at home?
Wasn't to my family. I don't know now, but things have changed a lot. I hope Cuba have no try to create no problem to their family, because it's their decision. It's not the family's decision. So I hope everything is okay for their family.
What's next for you?
I'm about to go to Israel. I will play next season with Maccabi Tel Aviv.
Thanks for being with us. Congratulations, Lazaro. And we'll be back with more on our halftime report. The score: the United States leading Canada 48-36. Gary Payton has a dozen, and that's the margin at halftime. Kevin Harlan and Hubie Brown will be back with first half highlights.
The AT&T Halftime Report was brought to you by AT&T. It's all within your reach.
Back in San Juan, the U.S. on top of the Canadian national team, 48-36. Hubie, the U.S. shooting 67%. Canada 33%. A lot of numbers out there in front of us.
Yeah, but they're only winning by 12 points. Right. And the reason is they've only forced 4 turnovers, so their lack of fast breaks. Then the rebounding is 22-20. That's why we brought out that point early in the game that Canada can board. Then the second unit for Canada scored 22 of their 36 points, with our guy McCullough going for 20. He's got 14 points and 8 rebounds.
Meeks the miss. U.S. beginning with Kidd, who has the ball. Garnett on the break. Outside to Houston. Duncan is trailing. Behind the back, it goes off to Garnett. Inside, and Kevin can't get it to go. Picked up by Hamilton. Intercepted by Kevin Garnett. Outlet caught by Kidd. To Payton. Slashing inside. He can't get it to go. Kidd is there in a fresh 30 seconds for the U.S.
Now, that's one of the very few times that Payton has not finished on a break. Now, that was a difficult shot, but he has made them time and time again.
Duncan held and fouled. They had Meeks in there. They had Garashi in there, and I think Garashi picks up his first. Payton to Kidd. Picked up by Nash.
Yeah, look out here now. 3-on-2.
Just back. Outside shot. Barrett is down a two-pointer.
Now, Rowan Barrett, I'm happy for him. Now, this guy just got married 3 weeks ago to a lovely bride, Keisha, and he asked me if we could get that on tonight.
Yeah, and you did.
And we got it on because he has done an outstanding job throughout this tournament.
Missed by Payton. Picked up by Duncan. Outside Payton. Here comes Garnett. Quiet on the scoring end. Into the lane. Muscling up. Short. Kidd once. Twice. Kidd fights for it. Hits it back. Off to Payton. Kicking to Houston for 3. Saved by Duncan. Off Payton and over the line and out of bounds.
Well, I think the disturbing thing tonight, Larry Brown and the staff over there, is in game 1 when you routed these people by 34, your 3 guys, Duncan, Garnett, and Baker, just dominated these people. Sure, by 25 points, but on the boards, they just crushed them by 17 rebounds. Now tonight, none of that is happening, and that's why they're in this game. We said at the top, how can they stay in? Is if their inside people do something, and McCullough has done a terrific job.
He's now on the bench. The Canadian team on a 13-2 run on the U.S. This team is going to the Olympics by virtue of their win yesterday over Puerto Rico.
Now, we look up there and we say, oh, come on, they're going to blow them out. Well, they're going to blow them out. Well, they're up 8. Only up 8.
We're leading by 19. Duncan triple team with a nice spin move.
The pace of this game is like an NBA exhibition game. You know, nobody's doing anything. The defense is there, but it's, you know, not really overpowering. They still have another gear that they can shift defensively.
Payton off to Duncan. He's trying to set a screen for Houston, who goes back to Duncan. Guarded by the smaller Hamilton inside to Key.
The way the offense is designed, Kevin, the offside screening and cutting to the basket has been very, very, very nice, and it's been consistent.
Kicked by Payton. Reset the shot clock, and they'll do it again. Things like that. There are going to be some rule changes coming up in the NBA this year. It should be interesting.
Yes, indeed. Well, you're not going to be able to mug anybody.
That's right.
Defensively, you're not going to be able to hold the guy around the waist anymore.
And when you kick it out of bounds like that, it goes to 14 seconds.
There you go. It should be interesting, and I'm anxious to see. But the players will adjust. It will take them a while, but once they adjust, we're going to see a lot of movement.
Meeks, because the game is such a beautiful game when it's played the right way. Here comes Houston accelerating and out the Kidd who cut, and the ball whistled by him.
Yeah, you look at Gary Payton and Kevin Garnett's legs, and they're like Michael Jordan. They're really very, very thin.
But toned. You know it's all muscle.
Oh, nice steal. Beautiful steal.
It's Payton leading at 3-on-2, leaping and looking for Kidd. Knocked away by Nash. Payton comes up with it.
Oh, shit!
Oh, and he did not get it to go.
Well, he's been able to find the hole anytime that he's in the paint. They're exasperated a little bit right now. They're trying to pick it up, and when they're at their best is when they make the steals, they get in that transition, they make it happen for the layup, or they get fouled taking it to the basket.
All NBA defense, first team, 6 consecutive years.
Well, the guy's been in the league 9 years. He's been on the All-NBA team 6 times. First team once, second team 4 times, third team once. Then, first team all-defense 6 times. You're right, Kevin. He's just had a sensational career.
And Hubie durable, too. Never misses a game.
Oh, that's right. You know, his first year, he missed 50 games, and then he played. Well, he's only missed 2 games in 8.5 seasons.
Incredible. Inside the drive by Garashi.
Yeah, nice block that time by Duncan.
Here comes Payton out to Kidd into Garnett. And Kevin Garnett finally gets it to go. Intercepted by Garnett at the other end. It's Payton.
Oh, that was beautiful.
What a play by Gary Payton.
That was just a beautiful play.
Back to the middle, Kevin. Right, back stop.
They obviously have that ability to turn it on and off.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing right now. They're up over there challenging the passer. Anytime the man picks the ball up, they're right in his face.
It's Nash knocked away. Shot clock at 10. Garashi intercepted by Houston. Here comes Payton, and buckle up for Gary Payton. 17 for Payton. You know what? The guards on this team have flourished, it seems, one or the other every game.
Well, you know, Kevin, a lot of guys would say, well, call a 20-second. They do not have 20-second timeout in FIBA. You're only allowed to call 3 timeouts in the second half, period.
Here comes Payton again after the kid kickoff. Gary flying inside and called for the charge.
Now, you see, Gary knows that in an NBA game, that would have been called in his behalf. But in FIBA basketball, you can take it underneath the rim like that. So it's going to be a charge. And it's been very consistent all throughout. Now, this is just that beautiful, whatever you want to call it, scoop shot, raindrop, what have you.
Hey, beer mime. Run. The United States now up by 19. With me is Russ Garnett, who's the president of USA Basketball, the deputy commissioner of the NBA. First of all, congratulations on qualifying for the Olympics. What is your expectation of this team, particularly next year?
Well, I think we're going to have a great team to take into Sydney, and you know, I think we can win the gold medal there too. So it's great to be back in a position where we know we're qualified.
There has been some discussion. Obviously, there'll be some changes. But are these 9 players who are NBA players on this team now, are they guaranteed spots in the Olympics?
Yes, the 9 veteran players that are on this team, they were promised if they came and played this summer, you know, as long as they're healthy, come next year, they've got a spot on the U.S. Olympic basketball team.
Who is being considered for the other 3 spots?
Well, there's a lot of great players that are going to be considered. I think we'll probably pick the team sometime in December. And, you know, I think certainly there's a lot of people that'll be eligible.
Have Grant Hill and Shaquille O'Neal told you they want to be on the team?
Yes. You know, I know that both Shaq, we've spoken with him and he'd like to play, and so would Grant. We haven't made any promises to anybody, but, you know, certainly those would be among the top 2 of the top players that would be considered.
When will the team be finalized?
I think we'll probably finalize it before the end of the year, sometime in the latter part of December.
Thanks, Ms. Congratulations. Now let's go back to Kevin and Hubie.
Great, thank you, Craig. Ron Barrett has the ball for this Canadian team, which will take this group to Sydney next summer in Australia for the 2000 games. Nash to Greg Newton. Rebounded by Mavis. So they're going to keep this group. Hubie, this 9 veteran group.
Well, it's been conflicting statements by key people, but I'm glad to hear Russ Garnett because he is the head man, the man in charge. So, you know, I'm happy for these 9 fellas because they have given up their time. And as you know, Larry Brown has rotated them with Brand and Serbiak only getting 7 minutes apiece. They have basically played all of the minutes.
I'd like to know about the coaches, too, because they have done such a terrific job.
Yes, they have.
With this group. Intercepted by Kidd, 2-on-1 with Payton off the Payton back to Kidd. Oh, and a great 2-on-1 by the U.S.
Now, did they shift gears? Yes, that was that last gear that we said they had left. They have turned them over 5 out of the last 6 times down the floor.
Nice run by the U.S. Hit the accelerator, and there they fly. 15-0 run by the Americans. Bumped by Kidd, and the foul called on him as Barrett was setting to shoot.
We told you at the top of the show that the 3 young fellas, Nash, Hamilton, and Barrett, have been the keys to this Canadian team. All 3 have averaged double figures, the only guys in double figures throughout this tournament. And in the big win yesterday over Puerto Rico, they stepped up, played crucial, all 3 of them, in the win. Now tonight, what is happening is Houston, Payton, and Kidd are all over these 3 young men and making life extremely difficult.
Payton has been absolutely terrific. He played on the '96 Dream Team, the only carryover to this ball club.
Well, he's the man right now. When you talk about, you know, backcourt performers. I know on the All-NBA team that Allen Iverson and Jason Kidd were first team, and Payton was moved to that second unit, which to me was a surprise. Now, I know he didn't have a great shooting year this year, the lowest of his career, 43% and 29-3, but the rest of his game was there. He got up over 20 a game, and it was a very tough season for everyone in Seattle. But he has been the catalyst here. He has led this ball club in scoring every night, and he's given them everything that you want in a player: defense, rebounding, and then he finishes in the open floor, and he's made all key shots.
There he is, Captain T, as you saw.
And he's also had his technical. Yes, he's catching every single stat.
Fill up every edge of the plate, and at the free throw line will be Sherman Hamilton. The U.S. bench, and tonight really isn't a great indication, but before tonight, the U.S. bench had not played that bad, especially the last couple of games.
In the last 2 games. In the early games, you had Timmy Hardaway trying to get back in shape because of the operation on the knee. Steve Smith a little bit. Gugliotta with the broken nose. And then Baker sprained his ankle. So the 4 guys, they all had something wrong with them. And individually, each guy has been big. Smitty came in the one night when Payton was thrown out of the game because of his 5th foul being a technical. Smitty stepped up and got 18 once Payton left the ballgame. So all of them have been able to do something here. Hardaway 17 the last 2 ball games.
Garnett again perfecting that nice spinning shot off the block. U.S. on top 65-44. Gold medal game with about half of the second half remaining.
Well, right now Canada has gone to that second line, front line with Newton, McCullough in there, and it's nice because they did have an excellent first half.
That is McCullough with 16 points and the first Canadian field goal in 6 minutes.
He has 7 offensive rebounds.
Garnett, nice sweeping baby hook.
Kevin is saying, I heard some people whispering I might not have a game with my back to the basket.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was. But what he's doing is showing tonight that he's got the jump hook and he's got that turnaround jump shot in your face, because we know he prides himself in how high he can hop.
West, the Goodwill Games at Madison Square Garden, led by Wally Serbiak and Elton Brand.
Well, Elton here, you're going to see the shot block, and then also he gets a piece of this next one and then gets the rebound. Both fellas averaged 17 points throughout that tournament, led the United States to the gold in defeating Australia in that championship game. And it's very difficult for them when in this operation, they're getting very few minutes.
Greg Sager is standing by with Elton Brand on the bench.
Well, a consensus player of the year, the #1 pick in the draft, all the accolades and success. How difficult is it sitting here waiting for garbage time?
You know, it's just a very honorable experience just to be able to play with these players. You know, we have Tim Duncan, we have Kevin Garnett, some of the best forwards in the world. So, you know, get the opportunity to play against them every day in practice is, you know, definitely beneficial for me.
Despite all your success, you worked so hard after the season to make yourself a better player for the NBA. What have you learned here during this tournament?
Don't stop working. You know, you have to keep on trying, keep on working. Just the extra little things that these all-stars do, you know, have shown me that I need to just keep working also.
That attitude, you're going to make it. No problems there. Let's go back now to Kevin and Hubie.
All right, Craig. Here's Payton. And fighting for the ball, Sherman Hamilton out of Malton, Ontario. 5th year at the national team. And out of bounds it goes. 12 seconds for the U.S. to shoot.
Tubby Smith from Kentucky made a great statement to me the very first day that we saw them in practice here in Puerto Rico. And he said, you know, Hubie, I never, ever imagined how good these guys are.
Really?
And he was taken back by how hard they worked in Orlando during the workouts and here in the early night. He just said, I called up some of my guys. He said, if you think you're going to play at this next level, you know, and be a star, this is what it's all about. And then he told the guys, the different players here, what their attitude. And naturally, the 2 key guys, Duncan and Garnett, are like 2 kids. They work as hard as anybody here, and they set such a great example. And then you got Kidd and Payton in the backcourt who make everybody else look good. So it's, you know, it's great role models, and that's why I'm happy to hear Brand understand that there's so much to learn. And he will, because he's a fine young man.
McCullough inside. They cannot stop him.
I tell you what, he might be in the starting lineup in Philadelphia. I mean, come on. Larry's being very calm about this. He's got 18 now, and he's got, you know, 7 offensive boards.
He's dominant. He is dominant. Well, why not play like this in front of a guy who's going to be your head coach? It makes sense. If you're going to shine, shine now. And here he is working on Garnett. Gets away from Payton. Showing some nimble moves with the ball. And an awareness of what's around him with the shot clock at 7. Hamilton working on Payton. Doubled, trapped, and the shot clock goes off. Nice defense by the U.S.
Well, he was working. Hamilton was working very hard. And you could just see that, you know, it's a difficult time when you got Payton all over you. Here the big fella says, hey, Duncan, first team all defense, second team all defense a year ago. I'm taking you strong.
And he just picked one off. McCullough.
What a game he's having.
It's terrific. He was just drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers. He went to the University of Washington. He's from Winnipeg, and Larry Brown will have him in camp this October. If they can sign him. His contract is rising before our eyes.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, Kevin.
But it's good to think about, right?
Yeah,
he might not know that, right? He might not know that.
Oh, good strip.
Picked up by Newton. This kid played at Duke for Mike Krzyzewski. Into McCullough. What move will he show here? In your face, says Duncan. Here comes Payton, flipping it off to Hardaway. Cut in nicely.
Nice finish, but beautiful execution by Gary Payton.
Just under 9 to play in this gold medal game. Let's watch Duncan inside with some defense.
Now there's a nice lob pass. McCullough just could not get out from underneath. And anytime you're in that situation, especially in a defender like Duncan, you're in big time trouble.
Tim's on the bench. Gugliotta comes in, joining Steve Smith of Atlanta, Garnett of Minnesota, Hardaway of Miami. Here's Payton of Seattle, and Gugliotta of the Phoenix Suns. Garnett trying to tap it back in. Loose inside. Retrieved by Payton. Holds his ground. Garnett the screen. Smith off to Hardaway. Back to Steve Smith with that sweet stroke. Rebounded by Gugliotta. Hardaway for 3. And Garnett is there. Canada looks tired.
See what this unit out there, they're in a zone right now. And unfortunately, the balls continue to rebound out to the foul line, and the guards are not doing a good job.
A double-double for McCullough. And a 3 down from Andrew Mavis.
The second unit. The second unit is striking fear.
You're right.
All right, into the USA squad. I'll tell you, that first half, they did score 22 to 36 points. Fear. Oh, maybe not.
Well, okay.
Yeah, right. They're striking something there.
I know, but it's good. It sounded good. Good theater. Right. Here comes Smith. Screen by Googs out to Payton.
Nice
swings
pass.
it over to Hardaway. They can't hit anything.
Yeah, Gugliotta with a loose ball foul. Pushing the lower back.
Well, the U.S. 7.5 minutes away from a gold medal here at the Olympic qualifying tournament in the Americas in San Juan, Puerto Rico. 53 in this gold medal game.
Well, we have a little quiz for all our basketball bennies out there, and that is there are only 7 players in history of United States basketball who have an Olympic gold, an NCAA championship, and an NBA title. Now, we know Magic Johnson at Michigan State, Casey Jones, University of San Francisco, Michael Jordan, University of North Carolina, Clyde Lavalette at Kansas, Jerry Lucas at Ohio State, Bill Russell at San Francisco. Now, there is a 7th guy, and he is in attendance here this evening. And we'd like to see how quick you are. Quinn Buckner, Indiana University. And here he is in attendance. He's on the board of the selection committee and also the advisory committee for United States basketball. Not only Quinn was an outstanding basketball player up in Indiana, but also a defensive halfback on the football team.
He was a great high school football player. In fact, I think may have been the top high school football player in the state and one of the top 5 in the country. He was outstanding. Now does some color commentary work for ESPN for the Indiana Pacers. Was with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I worked with him up in Minneapolis for a couple of years. Good guy. Father of 4 and carries on the greatness of his playing days into the broadcast booth. Sherman Hamilton. Trap, they got Gugliotta with a flash, and Hamilton over Googs. Garnett still in there. McCullough out of no place, almost had his paw on it. I think you feel it too. He has captured the imagination of this crowd.
Well, everyone said that at the University of Washington, he had an up-and-down career. Now, he was on a team that got to the Final 16. But everybody said, you know, he's a little slow, very mechanical. Yes, that's true. But, you know, when you say on a second unit, back up, he's doing it tonight against quality people. His size is a factor. That's why he's coming down with all of these offensive rebounds. And then he's saying, I'm going to show you a sweeping hoop, except there was a reject machine throwing it back for Kevin Garnett's third block of the evening. I mean, he comes from nowhere. Just watch. Garnett is just, sending that one. Listen, I like the fact that McCullough challenged him with a left-handed hook.
I know it. He's a right-handed shooter with no speed. But as long as he works, his career will be long and rewarded as a backup. Swords into the fray. Under 6 to play as you take a look at Todd McCullough, drafted by Larry. Hey, you know, if the U.S. wins, the players get gold medals. Do the coaches get gold medals too?
No, they do not. And that's something which I find hard to believe. The head coach does not receive a gold medal. Only the 12 players.
People that have been around Larry Brown, there they are, know how much he cared about this assignment. He really thought this truly is one of the highlights of his career.
Well, he was an assistant coach way back when Dean Smith was the head coach and won the Olympics. He has been at the University of Kansas where he won an NCAA. Oh, there it is. Now,
look out below for Kevin Garnett.
That's only at least the 10th time he's done that, where he's caught the ball above the box, all right, and sent it down.
That is so pretty to watch.
Now keep an eye on him. That's nothing but eye contact. And that's what he keeps saying every time he's interviewed. The people here love him. They just love him.
He plays to the crowd as well as anybody. He has become an international figure, and that is his final appearance in San Juan. And I think he has enjoyed this as much as anybody. He brought his 10 best friends with him, flew them down for the 2 weeks. They've spent time on the beach. They've ridden the wave runners. They've enjoyed everything about San Juan, and plus he has worked as hard as any player on the team.
Absolutely. Fans love him. He's been a highlight every single night. Offense, defense, running the lane, showing you his incredible athleticism. And then I like when Sager interviewed him the other night. He says, well, you know, Craig, I like it if they just throw it up there, but get it up there high. Get it up there high. I'll get it. Boy, he's proved that.
Googly out of the miss. Hardaway to Smith. Even on the bench, Garnett enjoys it. Let me tell you something about Garnett. He is as good a quality kid as we'll find in all of sports. In all of sports.
Well, all of his friends that he has surrounded himself with are great kids. And Larry Brown and his coaches there for saying they're all down here and they're a joy to be with. They're fun kids and they keep to themselves, to their gang, and they go around. They enjoy everything about it, and it's nice. It's nice that he has that type of quality now. I'm not saying another word.
Do you see
number 12.
History is being made.
Does he have 20 yet?
He got the 20.
20 and 11. 20 and 11.
Gosh.
Come on, not bad. Now, you know yourself, we got to look very hard to see if anybody got 20 against the United States in any game this year. Come on.
Smith had a nice pass to Gugliotta inside, 80-55. Nash working on Hardaway. McCullough finding inside and traveled inside as he worked against Wallace.
Right now we have Gugliotta got hammered in the face, and they've got to do something here right now because you can see he is stunned. He's really stunned. Now keep an eye on the replay right now. Yeah, he's bleeding again. Right. That's where he had the 6, as you can see. He's extremely frustrated. Keep an eye on it right now. Oh, he got hit with the elbow, of Wally Serbiak. Wally Serbiak's elbow nails Gugliotta.
Kid got him inadvertently in practice, and Serbiak gets him here. Gugliotta's finished for the night.
Now keep an eye to the right of your screen. You're going to see Serbiak right up there. You see it? Ooh. Right there to the right. Caught Gugs right on the butt.
It has already been surgically repaired here. Stitches to close it. Hardaway bangs one in from outside. Nash the other way. Garnett now, by virtue of the injury, is back in the game. Serbiak, Brand, Smith, Hardaway. Nash. Weaving inside. Got the pass off to Mavis. McCullough. There has not been an answer for McCullough all night.
Well, you know, everybody, the evaluations, even when he did not show up in Chicago, people said he made a very big mistake. People thought that he might go at the bottom of the first round. Well, he went into the second round, and then he was chosen by the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, if nothing else, this is an example. You know, I always say, you look for big players, you look for their later development, and if you get the exposure, and he's getting it now with this international competition.
Watch Due South at 6.
Game 83-57 over the Canadian national team.
Well, keep an eye to the right of your screen. You'll see Wally Serbiak go up right there and catch Garnett with that left elbow right on his nose. And fortunately for him, it is split open, and Craig Sager has him on the side.
Craig?
Well, I talked to Tom Gugliotta as he went to the locker room under a lot of pain. I asked him if he thought it was broken again. He said yes. It definitely is cut and will need stitches, but right now the report I have from the doctor is that he does not think it is broken. However, remember, he did have plastic surgery just 11 days ago, and it is in a lot of pain right now.
He's got to be in pain. Here's Swords. Slashing down. Knifing his way, Swords. 83-59. Hardaway to Garnett, into Wally Serbiak. You know, it's just so typical. Swords picks up the foul. You look at Serbiak a year ago at this time, he was an American hero. Now he is just an afterthought on this great team.
But like Elton Brand said, the main thing for these young guys is they're on the court, they practice against the NBA guys, they pick up added information to either take or not take and put it into their own games, and then to also get a real feel about how difficult year one is going to be.
Nash hits the three. We have not talked about Richard Hamilton out of the University of Connecticut. Sprained an ankle in one of the last practices, has not played the entire time and will not play tonight. So he goes to the Washington Wizards. Oh! Look out, baby! Look out below! McCullough. Serbiak was there, Brand was there, and a foul called. And watch this again and savor every
look to the left, look to the left. There he is again. Now that one he hardly had to even leave his feet. Come on, I mean, he was cruising on that
one. McCullough. A series of moves, rejected inside by Garnett. He's got 4 block shots.
He just measured McCullough on that one, just like he did on the hook.
Yep. Isn't it great the NBA has a kid that they can watch for the next 10, 12 years in Garnett? I mean, what we talk about who's going to replace Jordan and Barkley? Right there. It's the Garnetts, it's the Duncans, the kids. It's so terrific.
The thing that you love about him is the fact that he knows the history of the league. And he surrounds himself with fine young men. He understands what his job is. He understands his image. And then he plays big. And especially this year at playoff time when they lost to San Antonio, he came in with 22 points a game and 12 rebounds against the San Antonio Spurs front line. The young man is getting better and better year by year.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers, Coach, as we go through this tournament. The Coors Light tournament averages with these three heading the lists.
Well, we've been telling you, Gary Payton's doing that only with 9 shots a game. Duncan has just been terrific on the glass. Jason Kidd is the motor here, the guy that keeps everything moving with that first unit. The first unit has been outstanding, not only offensively, but their defense has been terrific, and they really have proven that you can just come together, cover for one another, as long as everybody plays unselfishly.
Well said. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
The cut on Tom Gugliotta's nose is in the same exact place as the one when he suffered the injury from Jason Kidd. He has now come back on the bench, but that cut required 7 stitches, and so he'll be reevaluated after the game, but he came out obviously for the gold medal ceremony. Kevin?
He's had the toughest luck of anybody on this U.S. team. He was looking so forward to this time to really show a lot of things. McCullough lost it. Hardaway and picked back up by Richard Anderson, and outside to Mavis, who knocks in a 3.
Well, Mavis has done a solid job here for this club. He played professionally in England this past season, but he's looking for a shot. He's very active, cutting to the basket. He's Barrett's backup at that small forward position.
Garnett was on the left of your screen yelling to Brand to catch the ball exactly where he caught the ball. Brand over the 7-footer McCullough. Short on the 3. Here's Garnett. Here's Serbiak. In traffic. Nice presence by Serbiak. Nice play.
Here's my guy.
You love Mavis.
Oh, I'm telling you.
You got a couple guys in this Canadian team you like.
Well, you know it is. They never stop hustling. And the coach, Triano, he could have gone with older guys. But what he has done is, he's a new coach. He's gone with, oh, not again. Not again.
5 blocks. Here's Smith. Lost it for a second. Garnett with 5 blocks. Yeah, the oldest guys on this team are only 27 for Canada.
Sure, and it's kind of nice. Oh! Do it, Smitty!
The gold is with the U.S. as they beat the Canadian national team. Kevin Garnett with a great defensive performance. And the U.S. wins it 92-66 and gets the gold here in San Juan. I would say, all in all, he'll be a very clear and distinct message sent by this U.S. team.
Well, it's been nice to watch. You like the cooperation the players have given the coaching staff, and then you like the fact that they played together, totally unselfish, and they enjoyed one another's company. That's the first thing a player will tell you, and that the coaching staff will tell you. It's been nice. It's been a real good experience for all of the players on this ball club.
Great perspective. Let's check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Kevin Garnett congratulating the Canadian coaching staff, having fun with his teammates right now. Kevin, every night's been a highlight. Every night's been a highlight reel for you. How much did you enjoy playing?
Same to you, huh?
How much did you enjoy playing in this tournament? What does it mean now to qualify for the Olympics and represent the U.S.?
Oh, man, first of all, I want to give thanks to the man upstairs, Jehovah God. Second of all, you know, I told you in the beginning, Craig, this is my summer and I was going to have fun. And that's what I did. You know, I enjoyed myself here. I'm looking forward to Sydney. You know, it's nothing like not only, you know, representing your country, but being selected from the team out of 500, you know, other players that's in the NBA and the tens of millions that play basketball. I'm having fun. Hi, Mom.
How do you describe, what does it feel like to have them throw the ball up there about 15 feet?
Craig, I was starving, man. I had a lot in like 3 games, you know. We had 9 games in 10 days, and it was starting to wear on me a little. You know, I worked out a lot, and I did other things to get my legs back, and I told Jay, first time you get an opportunity to throw it, let's throw it up. Don't worry about me getting it. I'll get it. I'm starving right about now.
Defensively, you're swatting the balls away like flies. You're playing to the crowd. What does it mean to interact with the crowd like that?
Playing to the crowd. You know, I know these people are Puerto Rican diehard fans, and I'm trying to persuade them to come over to the U.S. and start cheering the USA basketball thing. It wasn't necessarily me playing to the crowd. I enjoy myself here. These people show tremendously hospitality, and that's just my way of giving back, you know?
What do you guys do tonight? I know after the game yesterday, you went out and played basketball with your homeboys outside.
You know what? Tonight, I'm going to finally give me some rest. I got to go to South Carolina tomorrow, so I've been there. See, let's get on tournament, so be it. Well, thanks for having me, TNT.
Appreciate it. I'm out.
Thanks for all the highlights.
Gone.
Let's go back to Kevin and Yubi.
I don't know how Craig kept his composure with that kid. Well, the U.S. sweeps the Olympic qualifying tournament of the Americas. They go through undefeated in the championship game, beating